Welcome to the Man in the Middle. Once again, it's our sad duty to report that we've lost another entertainment uh, name, big name in entertainment. Hulk Hogan, dead at the age of 71. 13-minute read, updated 28 minutes ago as of 12:23 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is by Kyle Felster on CNN. Professional wrestler Terry Bollea, better known as Hulk Hogan, died on Thursday at the age of 71, according to World Wrestling Entertainment. Bollea is widely recognized as the biggest wrestling star of all time and helped WWE become the behemoth it is today. In the 1980s and 1990s, Bollea's larger-than-life personality in and out of the ring made him a household name and a crossover mainstream star, starring in movies and recognized around the world. WWE is saddened to learn that the WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan has passed away, one of pop culture's most recognizable figures. Hogan helped WWE achieve global recognition in the 1980s, the company said in a post on X. WWE extends its condolences to Hogan's family, friends, and fans. The city of Clearwater, Florida, said in a statement that police and fire personnel were dispatched to Bollea's home after a report of an individual in cardiac arrest. Bollea was treated by fire and rescue crews when they arrived and was transported to Morton Plant Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. TMZ was the first to report the news. Police said in a news conference that there were no signs of suspicious activity in his death, and an investigation is ongoing. With his boast of possessing 24-inch pythons for arms and his reminders to say your prayers and eat your vitamins, Bollea was instrumental in wrestling's 1980s golden era. Bollea's popularity and his rivalry with Roddy Piper, Andre Rene Rosimov, known as Andre the Giant, Macho Man Randy Savage, and scores of others made professional wrestling a multi-million-dollar industry in the 1980s and early 1990s. His decision to leave the then World Wrestling Federation for World Championship Wrestling in the mid-1990s sent shockwaves around the wrestling world. His heel turn, the wrestling term for a hero turning into a villain in 1996, and his run as Hollywood Hulk Hogan is one of the most memorable periods of wrestling history and helped WCW usurp Bollea's former company in television ratings for 83 weeks, the last time WWE trailed another wrestling company in the traditional measure of popularity. His time in WCW would eventually turn sour as Bollea took part in the finger poke of doom, a moment that exposed professional wrestling's predetermined nature to a level that had not been seen before. That incident in which Kevin Nash flopped on his back after being poked by Bollea, allowing the evil Hollywood Hogan once again to become the WCW champion, sent the company into a period of crisis that turned off fans so much that WWE was able to eventually buy its competition for a relative pittance. Bollea eventually returned to WWE as a full-time performer in the early 2000s, having celebrated a match with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson at WrestleMania 8, in which the two biggest ever stars created a cauldron of noise at Toronto's Rogers Centre, known as the Sky Dome. The Hulkster would spend a few more years with WWE before moving over to competition once again by signing with Total Nonstop Action Wrestling in 2010. His time with TNA would not be as nearly celebrated as Bollea and other older wrestling stars would be featured on the company's programming, to the detriment of younger talent that became disillusioned with the company and its leadership. He eventually left TNA after 3 years, not having achieved the same kind of success as he had in the early WCW run when he challenged WWE supremacy. The WWE Hall of Famer would then return to the company once more until he was caught on tape making racial slurs in a video that surfaced in 2015, a moment that tarnished his legacy among scores of wrestling fans and wrestlers. Pardon me. At the time, WWE ended its contract and removed many mentions of him from its website. Bollea would apologize for his comments, which were recorded in an authorized sex tape, according to the Inquirer, and included the N-word in reference to the dating life of his daughter, Brooke. 8 years ago, I used offensive language during a conversation, Bollea said at the comment at the time. It was unacceptable to use that offensive language. There was no excuse for it. and I apologize for having done it. The sex tape was instrumental in the destruction of Gawker and a disturbic website that frequently took on pop culture and governmental figures in the 2000s and early 2010s. The website published a tape on the site, leading to a prolonged lawsuit over the outlet's invasion of Polia's privacy. The $115 million judgment bankrupted the website, became a pivotal moment in media law. While Bollea reportedly apologized to the WWE locker room for using slurs, many wrestlers never forgave him. His reception at future appearances in the company, he returned on an on-air capacity in 2019, would make sporadic appearances until his death, received mixed reactions, and he was sometimes outright booed by crowds. Bollea's death comes a little more than a month before the first event by his new wrestling company, Real American Freestyle. That company seeks to provide a bigger platform for traditional wrestling, the kind of one would see in the Olympics rather than WWE's version. It was set to host its initial event on August 30th. The company has not responded to a request for a comment on Bollea's death as of Thursday afternoon. Professional wrestling and indeed the world of entertainment had never seen anything like Hulk Hogan in the early 1980s. At the time, professional wrestling was a segmented. I'm not going to read this whole thing. It's just a long, it's more about his wrestling career, and I really don't want to tarnish any more of his legacy. Hulk Hogan was the man. He, like him or hate him in the 80s and 90s, he was the face of professional wrestling. I really didn't care for him. I was more a Roddy Piper fan. If I followed wrestling, I never went to a wrestling match. I'd watch it on TV. I knew it, back at the time it was all fake, but it was engaging to watch at times. Hulk Hogan. Like Ozzy Osbourne, he was a shadow, or he cast a shadow that most people couldn't get away from. Even, he was in ads, he was in movies, he was on TV. He was all over the place. He was on the radio. No, he was larger than life, and for a while, he was a hero to many Americans, or not just Americans, wrestling fans across the globe. It's been a rough week for my generation with Ozzy and Malcolm Jamal Warner and now Hulk Hogan. It's just, wow. He was a legend, and I don't think we'll see another one like him in our time. But he was good. You got to give him that. He knew what he wanted, and he made it happen. And he became, like I said, the face of wrestling for many, many years. I hadn't heard of him lately. But then again, I never followed wrestling. But Hulkster, wherever you may be, I hope that you went peacefully, and I hope you're having a good time with all that have went before you. I'm Bill West. I'm the man in the middle. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, drop a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join me in wishing a happy afterlife to Hulk Hogan. Take care, guys.